For as long as we'd existed, we've looked for the secret to greatness. We've searched in bloodlines and bank accounts, in these rare flashes of genius. But what if the answer isn't out there at all? What if it's been in here, inside our own heads the entire time? You see, the real difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one, well, it's not your circumstances. It's your neurobiology. And today, we're going to decode the blueprint for rewiring your brain for success, right down to the cellular level.
Okay, let's just get right into it, because this is the part that trips almost everyone up. There's this myth that success is all about the hardware you're born with. Having a 160 IQ, getting a secret inheritance, or just being some kind of innate genius. But the reality? The actual science tells us our hardware is pretty much identical. The game changer is the software, that internal programming that governs your emotional control, that lets you hit peak performance, and that builds the rewired habits that create a system for winning.
So I want you to picture this. Every single day, from the moment you wake up, there's a battle for control raging inside your mind. It's a clash between two incredibly powerful forces. On one side, you have your evolved commander, and on the other, the primal watchman. And believe me, whoever wins this fight first thing in the morning, well, that determines the entire trajectory of your day. First up, let's meet the watchman. This is your limbic system. Think of it as the ancient reptilian part of your brain. Its only job is survival. That's it. It's constantly scanning for threats. A mean email, a comment on social media, a stressful thought about money. And here's the key, it can't tell the difference between a real tiger in the bushes and a perceived one on your phone. It's the voice of self-doubt, the thing that triggers your fight or flight response based on old fears and outdated programming. And then, on the other side, you have your commander. This is your frontal cortex. This is the highly evolved part of the brain, making up a massive 40% of its total mass, something totally unique to us humans. This is your command center. It's where your logic lives, your commitment, your conscious choices, your ability to actually plan for the future. This is the part of you that can look at the watchman's panic and say, "Stand down, I've got this."
So, what's the problem? Well, here's the absolutely crucial point. A staggering 80% of people are controlled by the watchman. They are living their lives in what's called a limbic loop. It's just a constant cycle of trigger, reaction, stress, and then regret, all driven by the most primitive part of their brain. They're basically living in the past, reacting on autopilot, and never really taking command of their own lives.
For most people, that daily battle is lost the second their alarm clock goes off. I mean, think about it. That jarring sound literally screams you awake. Your brain gets instantly hijacked. You're forced to jump from deep restorative delta wave sleep straight into high beta waves. That's the brain state of high stress and anxiety. You're basically redlining the engine before the oil has even had a chance to warm up, starting your entire day from a defensive, reactive crouch. But you know what? It absolutely does not have to be this way. If you want to train your brain like a true peak performer, you need a tactical plan. You need a way to win that morning battle. You need a blueprint, and that blueprint is called the Movers Method. Now, this isn't just some fluffy to-do list. Each one of these is a specific neurobiological trigger. It starts with M for meditation, to generate those calm, focused alpha waves. Then O for oxygenation. This is specific breath work that activates something called the vagus nerve, which basically tells your entire nervous system to calm down. V is for visualization, and get this. Studies at places like Harvard show your brain can't tell the difference between you vividly imagining an activity and you actually doing it. You grow new brain cells either way. E is for exercise, especially cross-lateral training that gets you moving across the midline of your body. That builds stronger connections between the two sides of your brain. R is for reading, positive, empowering content while your subconscious is wide open. And finally, S is for scribing, the simple, powerful act of writing out negative thoughts to get them out of your head. It's like a psychological release valve. The entire principle here is actually pretty simple. If you can win the first hour, you can win the day. And if you start stacking up those winning days, you can begin to systematically rewire your entire reality. It all comes down to that first hour, that first conscious choice. And this slide right here shows that choice perfectly. On the left, you've got the mistake, grabbing your phone. That flood of notifications, bad news, emails, it immediately triggers your amygdala, which is the watchman's personal alarm bell. Then you pour coffee on top of that, which just pushes you deeper into a high-stress state. Now look at the win on the right. Get sunlight in your eyes first thing. That sets your body's natural clock. And protect that incredible theta window, that super suggestible, creative brain state you're in right after waking up, with silence, not with a blast of digital noise. Okay, so once we've won the morning, the training doesn't stop. Your brain isn't some static organ. It absolutely thrives on challenge, and it withers with monotony. So to keep it sharp and flexible, what neuroscientists call plastic,
You have to intentionally break your patterns. You have to give it little challenges called neurobics.
And these challenges don't have to be some huge, complicated thing. It can be as simple as brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, or just taking a different route to work. You could try practicing Tritaka, an ancient technique where you just stare at a candle flame for 5 minutes. This literally builds the brainwaves you need for deep focus. Or even simpler, just walk barefoot on the grass. It helps you naturally generate those calming alpha waves. These tiny disruptions, they kindle brand new pathways in your brain. When you boil it all down, all of these tools, the movers method, neurobics, winning that first hour, they are all about one thing. They're about strengthening your commander, your frontal cortex, so that you are the one making the choices, not your reactive, panicked watchman. This is about consciously, deliberately claiming your own potential.
And when your commander is in control, your brain can operate in these extraordinary states. You can access what's called good beta, which is totally different from that anxious high beta you get from your alarm clock. Good beta is the frequency of intense, focused problem solving. It's that feeling of flow. And at the highest level, you can even achieve gamma waves. This is the brain state of elite insight, where your reasoning speed just skyrockets. And you start seeing connections and patterns that are totally invisible to everyone else.
The metaphor here is just perfect. Your brain is a Ferrari. It's a high-performance machine capable of absolutely incredible things. But what do most people do? Every single morning, they pour kerosene in the tank, with stress, with digital addiction, with terrible habits. If you want to perform at an elite level, you have to give it elite fuel and perform elite maintenance. It's that simple.
So, really, it all comes down to this one idea. Success isn't some accident that happens to a lucky few. It is a choice. And that choice is followed by a disciplined practice of rewiring your own neurology. Your frontal cortex, that is your command center. So the only real question left is, what orders are you going to give it tomorrow?